What's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at a plugin that is named very accurately. So today the plugin we were taking a look at is called Knock from the company Plugins That Knock. They might be more well known for their samples. I'm not sure. I saw that they did have a good plethora of samples in their catalog. But they have two plugins. One of them is just a smaller version derived from this one, I believe. I don't think there's any other plugins they have. This plugin was also suggested by a viewer. I believe the username was Commerce1974. So thank you for suggesting this. I was able to reach out to the company and they were able to hook me up with a way to try the plugin out specifically for this review. So this is all you. Before we really get into the video, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like and comment down below. As you can see in this video, I read the comments. If you have suggestions or plugins that you want to see me try, I'm going to do my best to do so. And be sure to subscribe. It helps out my channel a lot and helps me connect with more companies and more people to come up with more reviews for stuff like this. So I've been messing around with this for like 30 minutes before I even tried recording today. And that's not even counting like mixing with it on a session a couple days ago. It's really cool, got some really cool settings to it. Going across, you have your punch, saturate, sub, air, and clip. So the punch, it just gets more of the oomph. I don't know if I necessarily call it the attack, but it's kind of the attack. It's the punch. There's no other way to really describe it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna disable all the other settings, and we're just gonna turn the punch up and down so you can hear the difference. It gives it a little more oomph to it, I guess. The low end kind of punchiness comes out of it, hence the punch. Next is saturation. You have 3 settings on it. I think it's supposed to be like a soft, medium, and hard is what the website said. But what we'll do is go through each one, I guess, do a quick sweep, and you can hear the saturation kicking in and out. Next, you have the sub, which I think this is one of my favorite aspects of this whole plugin. The sub is basically, it throws like a little bit of a resonant frequency in behind your kick. You can have it like immediate, or you can decay it a bit. It sounds really cool. It can give your kicks like an 808 effect. Basically, there's a setting called kick to 808, and really the biggest thing is like it has this cranked to a pretty good level. Something else that I really like about it that made it stick out to me even more is if you're working in EDM or any type of music and you want a resonance in your kick, you don't want it to stick out or become dissonant with the rest of your session. You can actually set the resonant note so that it matches whatever key you're in. You can go as low as C1 or as high as C2, basically everything in between those two notes, or you can choose based off of the frequency. So I'm just going to set it to like decay 50-ish%, and then start the sub at 0, bring it all the way up and all the way back down. Like I said, I think it's really cool. It adds a cool sound to anything I've been working on when I've tried it so far. Just because of like the decay options as well as the note options. Next, you have the air, which you can choose a vintage or clean sound. I think this just has to do with the openness feel of the kick. But we'll try it on vintage and then switch it to clean. That one I don't notice as much of a difference being hit in there, but I'm sure with like some sort of electronic kick or 808, it comes out a little bit better than a natural kick that's already kind of airy. Oh, and for reference, I have turned every EQ, compressor, everything off of my kick channel, as well as turned off the bus compressor and even any plugins that I had on my master bus. So what you're hearing is 100% the knock plugin. Lastly, you have the clipping, which is kind of cool because it adds like a square wave to it, as you can see here. And you can choose between soft and hard clipping. Again, we'll throw it right about in the middle and then do a complete sweep. I think in tandem, the clip and saturation can work really well together. Now let's crank it further up to 100. Here you see the square wave coming in a little bit more, so it's a little harsher compared to the smoothness of like 0 to 50%. Again, sounds cool by itself, doesn't do much, but when in combination with everything else and the saturation, like I said, it can make a good difference on there. Next, on the bottom, you have a high pass and low pass filter selection. This is the only EQ options that you have in the plugin. Across the bottom, you have the in and out levels, a gain match option. Honestly, I'm not sure what the gain match is really supposed to accomplish. I'm sure there's a reason for it. It just might not be something that I do very often. If anything, I'm going to say it's just trying to match the output level of what the input level is. But every time I turn on and off the clip, it turns gain match off. If I turn any others on, I can't turn it on. So it has something to do with the clipping. So that's why I'm assuming that it's trying to match the input level with the output level so that the clip isn't actually clipping the output of the channel. HQ, again, I'm not 100% sure what it's supposed to be. I tried to find a manual, but I just either missed it or there isn't one that I could read through. But I'm assuming this just has to do with high quality. Next, you do have a tone shaper. So I like that it shows kind of the shelf response of the what I'm assuming is supposed to be the waveform, so it's acting as a high, low shelf, kind of moving them in tandem. You could probably leave this flat most of the time unless you're finding that you need a little bit more of that high-end response. Next, you have a dry to wet. This has to do with the actual mix of this plugin into the channel. So if you turn it to dry, there's going to be no filtering of the signal through this plugin. And then, of course, to wet, it's all running through this plugin. Lastly, they do have presets. We're going to take a look through a couple of them just to show you the different options, and we'll even throw it on snare and maybe even try the trap drums on the drum bus just to see what it does. Keep in mind that these drums were recorded at a live event that I do mix the audio for. If you ever want to check those videos out, I'll have a link to the channel down below. So this might not sound quite how the creators of Knock intended it to, but to me, it still sounds really cool. Something I realized that I didn't do was let you hear the kick by itself. So what we're going to do real quick, throw it in bypass, and you can hear what the original source sounded like. And now that we've done that, we're going to take it, we're going to throw it on my snare channel, solo it up, and we'll try out these snare presets. Like I did with my kick, I've turned every plugin off. All my EQs, all my compressors, special effects, whatever are off. So everything you hear is being done by knock. And actually what I'm going to do is throw knock and bypass to begin with so that you can hear what the snare sounds like first. And throw it in. I really like the sound of that Snare Hard preset. Last thing we're going to do is take trap drums. We're going to throw this on the stereo bus and see how that sounds. I'm turning on every other plugin that I've had on this session for my drums. And what we're going to do is listen to it without knock and then with. And now with knock on. Okay, so I'd have some level adjustments to make, but it sounds really good. This is really good for a punchy sound, hence the name knock. It is giving you plugins that punch through, that smack you in the face. They just knock. So that's all there is to knock. Really cool plugin. I highly suggest you go check it out. I'm going to have a link down below where you can go find your own copy of knock. Really cool plugin. I believe it's less than $100. Especially for a beginner, you can't go wrong. This sets you up with sounds for your kick and snare, which can be two of the hardest instruments to get to sound right. Thank you again to Commerce 1974. I would not have even heard of this plugin without you. And thank you to Plugins That Knock for providing me with a way to try out this plugin. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like and comment down below. Tell me what you think of knock. Are you going to go get it yourself? Do you have any suggestions for plugins that you want to see me review? Let me know. And please be sure to subscribe. It helps out my channel a lot and it helps me keep these coming every week. But again, thank you for watching and until next Tuesday.